Good morning, students. In the last lecture, we start some basic concept of physics. Today, we will continue this topic, basic concepts in physics. We know that physics is a science of measurement. While performing experiments, we need to measure the quantities. For example, length of the wire, resistance of a resistor, or volume of a liquid, volume of a gas. So different types of quantities to be measured while performing experiment. So physics is nothing but the science of measurement. So what are the conditions for measurement? How the measurement can be done? Measurement can be done with the help of various instruments. For measurement of small distance or small quantity, and for the large quantity also we can use some apparatus. Okay, today we are going to discuss some facts about the measurement of length. Okay, in the last lecture we discussed about the conversion between the units of length. We know that in SI system, length is measured in meter. In CGS system, it is measured in centimeter. In another system, FPS, it is measured in foot. This type of different system of unit are used in various countries, but SI system is universally accepted system in which we can convert one system of unit into another system of units. So now we are going to discuss about the measurement of length. So while performing measurement, a length of experiment or length of a wire can be measured with the help of a meter scale or a ruler. Okay, for example, we need to measure 10 centimeter or 15 centimeter. We can use a meter scale or a ruler to measure this length. But consider if we are to measure the radius of atom. We are to we need to measure the radius of an atom. So it is impossible to measure the radius of an atom with the help of ruler or a meter scale. So in this case, to measure a very small distances on the level of atomic structure, we need to define some lower units to describe these measurements. Okay, so in the last lecture we also introduced these prefixes. We know that if we to measure this length of this board, we use a meter scale and express it in the meter. But if we need to calculate or measure the length of a very small atom, radius of a small atom, it is impossible to use the meter scale. So if what prefix use we use 10 to the power minus 3 is nothing but the 1 millimeter. What is millimeter? Millimeter is nothing but a single part of a centimeter. So we can write this 10 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter. We are familiar with the centimeter and millimeter. Okay, so when there are 10 to the power minus 3 meter, it is equal to 1 millimeter. Now if there are 10 to the power minus 6 meter, there are 10 to the power minus 6 meter, then this prefix is called as micrometer. Okay, so in this way there are some prefixes used. 10 to the power minus 9, this is called as the nanometer. 10 to the power minus 12, meter is called as a picometer. 10 raised to power minus 15, it is called as femtometer. Okay, so in this way, if there are a power of 10 like this, therefore we can write this units. This micrometer is represented like this micrometer. This nanometer is represented like this m. This picometer, small p, small m, and this femtometer, fm. The radius of an atom or radius of nucleus can be represented in the terms of this femtometer. It is also called as the Fermi. Okay, about the radius of the nucleus is about 1.5 Fermi approximately. Okay, so this is all about the length we are going to measure. But what instruments are used to measure such very small lengths? So we are going to discuss three of them. Okay, so first is the vernier caliper. Vernier caliper is used to measure a very small distances. Okay, to measure the thickness, to measure the small lengths. Okay, then there is a second instrument which is called as the spherometer, which is used to measure the radius of the spherical surfaces, and then there is a micrometer screw gauge with which we can measure a distance up to micrometer. Okay, so these are the instruments used for measurement of a small distance. But if we need to measure the distance between the two distant stars, okay, for example distance between earth and moon, so it is possible to measure this distance with the help of vernier caliper, micrometer screw gauge, or even with a meter scale. No, it is impossible. So to measure the distance between the stars, we use another type of units. It is called as astronomical unit, represented as AU. And what is AU? What is the value of this astronomical unit? This astronomical unit is equal to 1.496 into 10 raised to power 11 meter. Such amount of large distance is called as the 1 AU, 1 astronomical unit. Okay, so we can measure the distance between the earth and moon or any other pair of bodies with the help of this unit, which is called as the astronomical unit. Okay, now there is another unit larger than this astronomical unit. We already know it is nothing but a light year. What is light year? Light year means the distance covered by the light in 1 year. The distance equal to covered by the light in 1 year. Consider light travel 3 lakh km per second. It means in 1 second light travel the distance about 3 lakh km. Then the distance covered by this light in 1 year is equal to 1 light year. Okay, and what is the value of 1 light year? 1 light year is equal to 9.46 into 10 raised to power 15 meter. It is called as the light year. So with the help of this light year, generally the distance between the stars is represented in the case in the unit of light year. Okay. Now there is another unit which is nothing but parsec. So what is the one parsec? One parsec means the distance between the stars having their separations 1 second. Okay, what is 1 second? 1 second is nothing but the measurement of the arc. So what is parsec? Then what is the value of parsec? 1 parsec is equal to 3.08 into 10 is to the power 16 meter. So sometimes we come across to measure the small distances, and to measure the small distances we use millimeter, centimeter, micrometer, nanometer, picometer, even femtometer, which is also called as a Fermi. And if we have to measure, we have to need the distance between the very distant objects, then we measure this distance with the help of these units: astronomical unit, light year, and one parsec. So in this way, what is the length? A length can be measured with the help of some instrument. In the earlier ancient times, it is measured with the help of feet, with the help of cuboid, with the help of spans. So it is not correct answer when they measure. It is not correct. Some faults arises during the measurements. So we need some standard to measure the length. Okay, so the standard used is a unit which is equivalent to a length of a rod kept at the laboratory in the laboratory of the physical sciences. So in this way, today we discuss about the length, how we can measure the small lengths and how can we measure the large lengths. So today we are going to stop here. In the next lecture we are going to discuss the concept of motion. What is motion and what are the terms which are come across while studying the motion of the object. So goodbye, have a nice day.